Together. How's it feel, guys?
Finally.
Meh.
Meh. All right. Well,
I'm a little
happy.
more I'm a little more optimistic.
Are you now? I can hear it in your voice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So happy 2016 to all of you. I mean, we haven't all been here yet this year, so we can really start getting into everything a little bit more. With the top free agents, a couple big ones off the board. Justin Upton and Chris Davis both signed. Upton signed by the Tigers, 6 years.
And with Dombrowski gone, and now their lineup, if Miggy stays healthy all year, it's one of the better lineups in the game.
Yeah, I think Victor Martinez is also another guy whose health is going to affect this lineup a lot. So
I think they're the best team in the AL Central now.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier too.
I think they're. I find it hard to say the world champs aren't. The Fight Club isn't the best team. I think they're even at this point. We talked about this.
Yeah.
I think they're even. I don't think they're the best team, but
it's going to come down to whoever's rotation overachieves more.
Yeah, that's true because the Royals really don't have a strong rotation. The Indians definitely have the best rotation in the Central. The Tigers, though, they're interesting because they have, they still have Verlander, who showed promising results the last time.
With he had a really good ERA. He pitched very well, and then last year it was downhill. But if he does well this year, that's really good for the Tigers.
Obviously, bringing on Jordan Zimmerman helps a lot too. They also have what's his name? The guy from the Blue Jays, Daniel Norris, who had successful cancer treatment in the off season. So he will be pitching, as far as we know. So he should be
Mike Pelfrey.
Pretty good too. He's a top prospect. So
Mike Pelfrey eats some innings.
Yeah, Mike Pelfrey too, another guy. Yeah, so I think they'll be fine on the pitching front. I mean, it's definitely no Scherzer, Verlander, Sanchez type stuff from a few years ago, but it's different now. So what do you think their lineup more precisely looks like? How do you think they go 1 through 6 or
righties, right? Almost all of the hitters are righties, right?
So go ahead and give me your 1 through 6 in that lineup. If you have it, I don't know.
Oh, I forgot they had Kinsler. Would you put? They have Mabin. They have Mabin.
I don't think he's. I mean, he showed really good signs of hitting for a higher average, but it's just not enough. There's zero pop.
Yeah, I agree. And he has no speed.
Yeah, just let him flash the leather on defense. Yeah. I'll take it.
Who would you bat second? Would you bat
I'd bat Upton. Upton second.
Upton second.
I would consider batting Victor Martinez second. Actually,
I'm more on that route because I wouldn't put JD obviously or Miguel, and then the other guys they have are Castellanos, and then who's their catcher. You can't put those guys second.
Can't run the bases second.
Yeah. Well, why not?
Yeah.
You can't run the bases.
I guess that's true, but he'll get on base a lot.
Not according to last year.
Well, last year was kind of a weird year for him just because of injuries, and I know I'm assuming health right now. I'm not assuming he's going to be.
He's still a young guy. You don't know if he'll be as good as he once was, is my point.
I think he'll be good if he's healthy. I'll give him that much. But yeah, I think having Miguel Cabrera third, JD Martinez fourth, and then I can see Justin Upton hitting second, but second and fifth between him and V-Mart could go either way. You could push V-Mart back too, hit Upton fourth. There's a lot of options.
Yeah, I mean having all these options isn't a problem either. So it's good. So
yeah, that's just a little bit of mixing and matching there. It's a hard lineup to work with because there's a lot of guys that really can't run. Let's talk about Chris Davis now, who signed a 7-year, $161 million contract with the Orioles. It seemed like he was going to end up there no matter what, just because the Orioles seem to be the only team involved with him the whole offseason. They seem to be bidding against themselves, really, negotiating back and forth. This is what they settled on. It's a little bit of an unorthodox contract. There's some other weird technical things that make this a weird contract. But just talk about this year, the impact.
There's a lot of deferred money.
A lot of deferred money. Let's just talk about this year, though. With Davis back in the Orioles lineup, how does this play out in position-wise? Because they have some options. They still have some pieces missing. But overall, what do you think of the Orioles?
Not much.
Yeah.
They're a pretty bad team, in my opinion, honestly.
They don't have pitching.
They have no pitching at all. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously that's been a problem for a long time. But I think their lineup's a lot better than people give it credit for right now.
I mean, honestly, they're probably the fourth best team in the AL East. And they had missed their window, I think, 2 years ago to be a championship contending team. And honestly, like, I mean, their ownership fucked up because they're really cheap and they weren't willing to spend money when the team was at its peak. And what's his name?
I don't know.
I think he starts with a G.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he pitched last year, kind of in the bullpen rotation.
Oh, Gausman. Kevin Gausman. Yeah.
But I mean,
part of that lineup for a long time, or they hope he will be.
Is he really worth that contract when he was one of the worst players in baseball 2 years ago?
I think he is. I think he's worth. I think this is about where you'd expect him to be, because let's face it, 45 to 50 home run power is not something you can get from anybody. Okay, this is really special power.
He's not gonna have that for the whole contract. You don't. 2 years of that left.
You're paying for him right now, and you're paying for the first few years. They're hoping they can get some more out of him. He's gonna hit a lot of home runs. There's no doubt about that.
It makes no sense to pay him that money when you cheaped out for 2 years when you were at your best. That makes no sense.
I mean, he does help them win a lot of games. I think part of it too, part of the thing that we're not thinking of is how much more money a lot of the other power hitters have gotten in recent years. Like, you think of Robinson Cano right now. He was a stud when he signed his 10-year, $240 million, but think about what he's produced since then. Does he seem like a 10-year, $240 million going forward? Even like Prince Fielder.
Those aren't comparable players at all.
Prince Fielder is a closer guy, right? He is much better all-around hitter too, with power.
Prince Fielder has power. Yeah.
He got around 220.
Prince Fielder was an MVP candidate.
And he hits for contact too. He hits for average.
Way better than Chris Davis ever was.
He is, and he got $220 million for it. But you think about it right now, though. Chris Davis has more power than Prince Fielder.
The point isn't that did they get market value. My point is that how can you suddenly decide to spend money after you missed your title window? That makes no sense. That's not good organizational management. They should have spent that money that they wasted on him and
do so much for them.
Yeah. They haven't done anything smart with any moves within the last 3-4 years.
Makes sense. It's just not like they go against the grain for a guy like Davis, who is definitely worth that contract and possibly more to some other teams out there.
I think considering what Upton just got, and I'm not sure Chris Davis is a better player than Upton overall when you sum up everything, including age. I'm not sure he's worth more. I would say they paid probably the maximum amount to not give a bad contract. And I don't think that's... I mean, they were bidding against no one, so how is that good?
Well, like you said, they ended up kind of winning with all the deferred money and like the way the contract is going to play out. So there's that's kind of neutralizing the whole payroll issue, like annual salary wise. So I mean that's the only thing that I can say about that. But yeah, I mean I don't know. I think I would have liked. I think I've mentioned this already. I would have liked to see Davis sign with another team. Because he would have gotten more money from another team, I'm pretty sure. But I think he's more comfortable in Baltimore.
Makes no sense.
I think he would have gotten more money.
Team if they were willing to give him more money. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know what there's something about.
It makes no sense though. Like what you just said.
No, I'm saying that. other teams out there, I'm sure, would have offered him more, but there's some kind of like comfort level that Davis has with
no way that's true.
The Orioles in that ballpark.
That's
definitely
not how
true.
Negotiations work in free agency.
Well, obviously, with Davis he's a Scott Boras client, so obviously they're trying to look for the best contract out there. If he did get offered more, I'm not sure actually. Yeah, like if he would have taken it, like
definitely would have known about it if another team offered him more.
If he got $150 million deal
this offseason to a major player has been reported, I really doubt that no one would have known if it was offered more money by a different team.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. I think there's definitely other teams out there that have been trying to get Davis. Like, the Orioles seem to have been the only one, but they definitely couldn't have been the only one. He's such a dynamic power hitter. I mean, that's just my opinion. Okay. Let's move on. Let's talk about the one big fish out there left. And there's also been talks that he could accept a 3-year deal from the Mets with an opt-out after 1 year. So, both intriguing. Both in the same division, obviously. The Nationals, though, I want to talk about that for a sec. What are they going to do with 5 outfielders?
I think they would essentially, since Worth is getting older, they would platoon him and Revere in left, and then put Cespedes, and then decide where Cespedes and Harper play. And then Michael Taylor gets whatever. I don't know. But I think they're going to platoon Worth and Revere as long as Worth stays healthy and produces.
So here's the thing. Money matters in this game, right? Yeah. Jason Worth is not a bad hitter.
Worth will play because of
Worth
money.
will play. I don't think they're going to platoon him if he's healthy. So, like, because they're paying him.
Managers would.
Terrible this year. What are you talking about? And he's 36. I think you're overestimating.
The money talks though to him, but it's different than having Revere face every right-handed pitcher you face and having Worth only face lefties. That's what a platoon is in baseball now.
I mean, I think you're just underestimating.
So you think Jason Worth's just not going to face righties?
What's wrong with that? What's the big deal?
He's going to play like 50
I
games.
think what they're going to end up doing.
And that at least the percentage of games you face right-handed pitchers is higher, just, based on schedules and how many left-handed versus right-handed pitchers there are. So that makes slightly more sense, but, just not playing, they're going to still play him. The money matters. And Howard was horrible last year against left-handed pitchers.
Probably, I think 104 against lefties last year.
And the thing is, the Phillies in that situation also have one of the players with the highest OPS against left-handed pitchers.
Darren Ruff, I think. Is that his name?
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it's a totally different. You're not going to have Ben Revere play over Jason Worth. Ben Revere has 0 power. Sure, he hits for average and speed, but that's not what they're going to use him for. Hopefully, what I had been hoping before was that they just let Revere play center field, and he's not a natural center fielder anyway, so it might cause some problems. But he's definitely athletic enough to play that position. Have Revere play center field full time, and give Taylor some at bats in there mixed in with Revere. Good pinch hitter off the bench too, in Taylor, or giving him a chance because he supplies more power than Ben Revere, obviously.
So what do you think the outfield is going to be?
I really hope they don't sign Cespedes. That's what I'm saying.
No,
you have Harper, Cespedes. You have Worth playing every day, and you have Michael Taylor as...
It doesn't solve their issues.
No, not at all.
Your issue isn't outfield. I mean, I disagree with you. I think you're overvaluing 36-year-old Jason Worth and how much playing time he'll get. And there's also the fact that he gets hurt like every single season.
Okay, so let's think about that for a second. Worst case scenario, you have Ben Revere play left field, and you have Michael Taylor in center field, and give him a shot to play again. And you think he's god awful? I don't think he's terrible. He's a prospect.
He's awful.
He can steal bases. He can hit for power. The average is not there yet, and I think we're just so used to having these prospects that can jump on the scene and produce right away. And
the national show, but I mean, if they sign this, if they make this deal, and they make. Also, considering the Daniel Murphy deal, sorry. I mean, that's a lot of money spent on 2 positions that, like, you already had players to play. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do. And I mean, I could talk a lot about the middle infield situation there. I think we'll save that for another day, probably, just because I want to, just keep things going right now. It's more about Cespedes.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to talk about him with the Mets a little bit, too, if you guys are just about ready to move on there. So if he does return to the Mets, is he going to play left field? Because that's going to piss me off a lot, too. Because Michael Conforto is ready to play every day.
Why not just move Michael Conforto?
Where can you move him, though? Like, he's not...
You don't think he can play center field at all?
I mean, you can throw him in center field. I don't think that's where he's going to be. That's not where he's going to be successful, though.
I mean, maybe they'll just... I mean, Curtis Granderson's a very hot and cold player. And, what's his name? Juan Lagares can't really hit. So,
yeah.
I think you can... They signed, actually, the weirdest thing is that they have Alejandro De Aza now, too, which is not bad.
Yeah,
so,
and that was their plan. They didn't plan to go after Cespedes, but once, he's still out there like, hey, we'll give you $3 million, or 3 years for this much if you want to opt out, and if you want to, join us for another year, help us, and hit some home runs for us too, we'll take you. I mean, it wasn't part of their plans, it seems like.
The funny thing about their team is that, and once again, I'm sorry to make this about them, solid, and they have more position prospects who are rising through the ranks. So, Cespedes, I mean... He would be their best player immediately, but
he's not a
necessity. Sorry?
Are you saying he's not a necessity for them right now?
Yeah, exactly.
Right now, the team that they have, I don't see a whole lot of holes with anywhere. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I say if Granderson has any, you don't understand. He actually can't hit lefties.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I think again he's not in a Ryan Howard position right now where. They're just gonna say, oh, okay, we're just gonna full on platoon you because the money matters. He's getting paid a decent amount. He's a solid leadoff hitter. They trust him. They're gonna hope he can adjust.
Okay, that's not true. That's not.
I mean, they're gonna give him a chance if he comes out of the gate first 2 months of the season hitting
183 last year against lefties, and he makes $11 million. There's no reason that they can't platoon him against lefties. Lefties are a fifth of at bats every year. That's not a drastic platoon.
Okay, well, let's go to who are they going to platoon? All their outfielders are left-handed hitting, except for Juan Lagares, who can't really hit. You're not going to use him over Curtis Granderson.
Yes, you do. You can play Cespedes, Lagares, and Conforto against lefties. There's nothing wrong about that. You're playing the National League. You can have Granderson pinch hit every single game that happens. Or swap him in later in the game. That's really not I think you're... Honestly, I feel like this is... Maybe
I think I'm undervaluing Lagares in this situation.
I think that's just not really as drastic of a platoon as you think it is. Playing, sitting once every 5 games as a 30-year-old player, discounting injuries, when you can't hit lefties at all, and when you can pinch hit every single game, is really not that extreme in my mind.
I think... Maybe what I'm thinking with platoon is not what you're thinking, because you're saying sit him once every 5 games, which I think is fine if it's against lefty. Give him a day off against the lefty. That's totally different than not letting him hit against lefties at all.
Well, every lefty starter, which is about once out of every 5 games, he shouldn't start.
I don't think it should be. I don't think it's at a point where it needs to be
They're horrendous.
Yeah, and there's plenty of left-handed hitters out there that can't hit lefties either. So that's a lot of the issue with left-handed hitters in your lineup. I think we're overthinking this aspect of it more than we should. The point is Cespedes, if he's there, he's gonna have to play every day. Where are you gonna play him every day? It's gonna kind of screw up their whole plan, which is fine. He's a really good hitter, but if Michael Conforto doesn't play, I'm gonna be pissed.
I mean. What if Michael Conforto isn't good, I guess? It's the only thing I have to hope for.
I don't want that to happen either. I want him to be good.
I guess that's the only thing that I can think of. I mean, he was pretty solid last year in 56 games. So.
Yeah, he was great. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's a good problem to have.
It is. And especially if it's a 3-year deal with an opt-out after 1 year.
Is Conforto an all outfield type of player?
Yeah, he's not an infielder at all. Never was. Yeah, all right. So, speaking of prospects, talking of Michael Conforto, I think now it would be a good time to take a look back at the prospects 5 years ago and see what they're
How about
see what they're
you,
up to now.
alive?
I'm
Considering,
alive. I'm just trying to figure something out.
okay, so I figured now would be a good time to look back at the 2011 top prospects. Considering the 2016 top prospects list is going to be released in a few days. I think the 29th of January is the day that's released. I'm really excited for that. We'll talk about that a little bit more too. But I think the look back should be a pretty fun time. I'm gonna go ahead and go through every name pretty quickly, and then we'll talk about them as we go. Does that sound good? Sound good?
Yep.
All right. So number 1 in 2011 was Mike Trout.
Who? Who's that?
Did he pan out?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, number that looked really good when he came up, and then Tommy John, and now nobody really wants to touch him. I think the velocity was a big deal for him, and he lost some of that.
I remember, the year after he was called up, he signed a very club-friendly deal, and then a lot of people just got mad at him, why would you sign that cheap for yourself? You're a great pitcher, but then it kind of worked out for the Rays at this point.
Yeah, I guess so.
You mean for Matt Moore it worked out for?
Either way. He's not getting paid a ton, and he's not really producing a ton. So he'll pitch. He'll pitch next year, but I don't know how good he'll be. We'll see.
Okay, I've just been very weird, strange. It's been a strange progression.
Mm-hmm, yeah. All right, so number 5 on this list is the equivalent of Dansby Swanson is number 5. He is going to the desert this year. He was really good last year, and got 0 wins. That's his claim to fame. Really, is not winning. Is that bad?
Yes.
Very, very true.
It's a sad legacy. Number 6, Jesus Montero, who's still somewhere, but he didn't really pan out for anybody.
He's on the Mariners. He's been a little downhill.
Yeah, he was part of that Pineda deal.
Yeah.
So, good for the Yankees, I guess. Number 7 is Jacob Turner. Didn't really turn into anything. He played for the Tigers and the Marlins, you said. Who else did he play for?
Cubs?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, Cubs.
All right, so not much there. It's kind of sad when all these top 10 players don't really pan. He's still around in the minor leagues. He had some arm injuries in the past few years. It's been tough for him to gain any ground. He actually dropped quite a bit in rankings since then. We'll see. He might pitch this year. He's about ready to pitch in the major leagues if there's no more problems with him. So we'll look for that. Number 10, some guy named Manny Machado.
Oh, yeah.
Manuel
Machado. Yeah, I think he's yeah. Obviously a lot of injuries going on. Never really panned out into anything. He's still out there. If he ever finds a spot to play in the major leagues,
he's
he might
barely
be
played in 2 years from his arm injuries. So
yeah,
if he ever finds his arm again,
yeah,
then he might be available to.
If you're feeling generous, donate an arm to Jerickson Profar.
Put it on Craigslist.
Yeah. Number 12, Tyler Skaggs, who's coming back from injury. He's going to pitch in the minor leagues probably to start the year. But
I think he is going to start in the minors because we have 8 pitchers, and I think he and Shoemaker are just going to start in the minors.
Shoemaker's going to start in the minors?
They have, unless he starts in the pen.
I like that more. So number 13, Manny Benuelos, another pitcher that didn't really pan out. I think he pitched with the Braves last.
Correct?
Yeah. I think he's still there. Nothing really happening there. 14, Casey Kelly, similar situation.
Who is that?
Exactly.
He was traded for Anthony Rizzo.
Okay. That's noteworthy.
Grace.
Noteworthy. Will Myers is number 15 too, though. A lot of injuries too. That's the difference. Yeah. So there's Jake Odorizzi at 16, very very good pitcher for the Rays. 17, Jared Parker, another sad story.
Arm exploded.
Yeah, literally.
He got re-signed in arbitration though, which I was pretty surprised by.
Yeah, he was. I think people forget how good he was when he was pitching.
He was very very good.
He was a monster.
And then
you could argue that the A's might have not ducked up their whole team if he stayed part of their.
Beast.
Yeah, he's done. He done. Number 18, some guy named Anthony Rizzo.
Oh, Casey Kelly.
Yeah, he was in the Casey Kelly deal, right?
Yeah.
You guys know that Anthony Rizzo had cancer?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
At age 18.
Wow.
Leukemia cancer.
Another reason to love this guy. In 19, you got Mike Montgomery, who pitched last year for the Mariners. Did pretty well, actually. Good starting pitcher.
Took a while to get to the majors, but up and down minor league career, but
things work out. Devin Mesoraco at number 20, who has been battling a lot of back injuries, which is tough for a catcher. One of the best hitters on the Reds as a catcher for the 2013 and 2014 season.
He's already 27.
I believe it. Yeah, it's been a while, but
he's no young guy.
I'm rooting for him to come back. I really like him. 21 is Willen Rosario, power hitter for the Rockies. Hasn't really landed there though. It's been a lot of up and down with him. Struggled hitting for average. 22, Dylan Betances. I like this guy a lot. He is part of the Super Hydra Yankee bullpen right now, which is going to be very interesting. Number 23 is Nick Franklin, kind of like a minor league prospect career player. Did he play? Has he played in the major leagues productively anywhere?
No, he's on the Rays, right?
Yeah, he's not.
Kind of sucks.
Yeah, he kind of
just a utility backup infielder.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. 24, Aaron Hicks, the New York Yankee.
See, he's actually interesting. He was a top prospect. I think right before he made it to the majors, he peaked. I think top 15, and then he was awful for about 2 years. Last year he was quite good actually. He was a very solid outfielder. And
yeah, he was.
He was 26 years old. I mean, he's always had all the tools. So I think next year, he can just keep up, his hot streak. The last 3/4 of last season. I mean, he could be a solid everyday outfielder.
I'm looking forward to that as a Yankees fan. Carlos Martinez at 25, very good pitcher for the Cardinals. He's going to be pitched for the A's recently out of the bullpen. Now on the Padres, who I guess will he start? I don't even know if he'll start there.
It's just a very
meh
kind of guy.
Yes, it will. Good stuff. 28, Kyle Gibson for the Twins. He's solid. I think he's he's just one of the solid pitchers. 29, Brett Jackson, the great. I don't know. Number 30, Yonder Alonso, didn't really pan out. I mean, he played for a while, but not well.
Where is he now?
The A's, the good old A's, taking up all these former prospects. Huh?
Pomeranz for
He was pitching okay. I don't know how it's all going to play out for him, but hopefully he pitches well. Jonathan Singleton. Yeah.
Singleton's still a prospect.
Yeah, he is still a prospect. Had some major league time.
Yeah.
He sucks.
He really struggles, but he's got monster power.
Yeah, he has insane power, but he just strikes out way.
It's too much.
I don't think he's ever going to be an everyday major league player.
Yeah, I'm leaning that way too. I mean, I root for the prospects, but I don't think it's going to happen. Christian Friedrich?
He's 28. I don't think he's anything.
Right now, the number 2 catcher according to MLB.com.
Really?
So, yeah.
That's surprising.
Made some strides. It is a pretty weak catching class in general, though, right now, but yeah, it's pretty good.
He's never really, he's honestly a pretty disappointing prospect.
Yeah, he played really well in the Arizona Fall League. I think he was the MVP, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. Matt Dominguez, 35. He played for a little bit. He's kind of
he's a good defender.
Power outfielder type
else.
guy that can't really hit for average. I don't know. I think he was on the Phillies last, right?
Guy, I feel like.
He's on the Marlins.
Oh, he is? Okay. I see that. 36, Miguel Sano. He is definitely going to be fun to watch this year.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of projections that I've seen, actually, or a lot of rankings, really have him a lot higher than I would expect, even for him, even considering how great of a season he had.
He hit 20 homers in... Oh, wait, no, he didn't. That wasn't... Sorry, I'm looking at 2011 stats. He hit... Yeah.
What?
He's looking at his 2011 minor league stats. Well, in case you're wondering, how many...
I was like, wait, that's not right.
Yeah. No, but very good power hitter.
Very.
I don't know. When he was coming up, I never thought much of him just because it's he just seems like one of those raw power guys. Probably not going to hit for a very high average. Probably going to take a while to adjust. Not the case at all.
nowhere. There's not. He doesn't really have a clear position on the Twins because they
He's
have
going to play an outfield spot.
Trevor Plouffe, right? He's gonna play outfield.
Yeah, you didn't hear that story? We talked
He's
about
like
it.
900 pounds.
I know. I know.
He's so big. How is he gonna play outfield?
Were you not the guy that? I thought we talked about this, and I
Whoa.
said he's a huge guy to play outfield. And I was like, no, he could adjust. Like, and then I showed you a picture of him, and you're like, oh, he is a big guy. Jeez.
Oh, I remember that.
You do, yeah. I remember very vividly. But yeah,
Oh,
he's
that's
gonna,
gonna be
he's
interesting.
gonna play outfield. We'll see how that goes. I guess if you have to think if Matt Holliday can do it, anybody can do it.
I mean, Matt Holliday can't.
Intel is number 37.
He's
Yeah, this
still
is
on the
interesting. I've never heard of this guy.
Yeah.
He's only 23. But
Right? Wow.
what happened to him? So that's a
I
real
don't know.
question.
Look out for Guillermo Pimentel, everybody.
Interesting.
38 is Chris Archer.
He's he's a meh.
Yeah, he's just okay.
As far as aces go, he's very meh. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So
He's like-
ace.
As far as an ace, you
He's
know.
a meh top 10 pitcher.
Yeah. That's what I think about him. 39 Wilmer Flores, who is famous for crying, which is kind of sad, which is also very sad. Yeah, but he power hitting shortstops, not a lot of those still out there. I guess he'll play, right?
But you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
This description says his biggest tool is his bat.
Yeah, he's power hitting shortstop, which is not
I don't think
easy to come by.
he is, though.
He's a power hitter.
How?
That's what he does. He's not a good average hitter, but he hits more home runs
I just
than
don't
a lot
think
of other
he's
shortstops
an
out there.
anything player, to be quite honest.
It's the give and take. He's not very good. In the last 5 years, I think he made the best play that I've seen in that whole entire span. I don't know if you remember it, the one, like the little chopper.
The one against the White Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ran up and basically dove and threw it at the same time with nothing. I can't get over that play. Do you remember, Rudy?
Yes.
Yes. Good stuff. That's his claim to fame. That's a better claim to fame.
Yes.
Tanner Shepard's 41. He's out there. Is he a bullpen guy now?
Yeah.
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 So he settled in there, I guess. John Lamb is one of the Reds' starting pitchers now. We'll see how that plays out. Nothing special right now, but 43 Tyler Matzek, another pitcher. Is he around? I don't know who he is.
I think he's on the
I
Rockies.
think he's still one of the top pitching prospects on the Rockies.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Gary Brown at 44. Yeah. Number 46, Arodys Vizcaíno, who is likely going to be the closer for the Braves. Interesting, no?
I've never heard of him. Is he good?
Yeah, he pitched last year. He closed some games for the Braves second half of the season. He's likely going to be their closer. I think he's good. If you need saves in any of your fantasy leagues, there you go.
I don't know how
47,
many
Travis
games
d'Arnaud.
he's won.
So back to when he was a Blue Jay.
Throwback to the best trade of all time, right?
Already.
Yes.
Number 48, Hak Ju-Lee. Good times.
Sure.
49, Robbie Erlin.
He sounds vaguely familiar.
I don't know. Number 50, Taiwan Walker, though, who did gain a lot of ground since then. And
He really started off beyond awful last year, but by the end of the year, he's really
Good.
yeah. I want him to be good. Hopefully he's good, right?
He really climbed these rankings though, because
He did.
he was top 10 for at least a couple.
I think this is early on, though.
Yeah.
Like, this is just like an early ranking.
This is right after he was drafted, I think.
This is a very strong prospect class, I will say.
Yes.
When you have Mike Trout and Bryce Harper at the top of any class, it's going to be a good class. But throughout, when, Matt Harvey's 45 on this list, man.
I mean, it has Guillermo Pimentel, so that's all we really need.
Yeah. Look for him, guys. He's out there somewhere. Anyway, this was fun. I like this. Let's talk about the prospects now, though. The 2016 prospect list is going to be released by MLB.com on the 29th, I think, of January. And let's talk about some players that we think are going to make some interesting impacts in the major leagues, or different interesting jumps on this list, or pretty much anything you want to talk about. I think we all picked out a few guys to talk about in particular. Farbode, if you wanted to start us off here.
Am I doing mine, like all mine, or are we like taking turns doing
You can
one
do
at a
whatever. Well, it's gonna be very flexible with this.
Okay.
Trying that out.
My first guy is Blake Snell. He's one of the top 5 left-handed pitching prospects. He throws a mid-90s fastball. The one thing that he doesn't have is like a very strong like sense of control of his pitches. But I feel like if he improves his walk rate, he's going to be he's going to become another like pretty good pitcher that the Rays have developed.
I really like this guy too. I just wanted to touch on that. I don't think I've seen a player jump through the minor leagues as fast as he has. He went through like all of single A, double A, and triple A in one season and pitched well at all 3 levels. That's not something you see every day. I think he's going to contribute this year, whether it's
I think he's going to be
as a call up or out of the gate even from spring training. I can see it. Who else did you have, by the way?
Oh, I thought we were taking turns. Okay. My second guy is another top lefty prospect, and I'll try not to be salty, but Sean Newcomb. He's a big guy, 6'5", 245.
Okay, you're salty. I can tell.
Yeah. He has very clean mechanics. Throws mid to upper 90s again. Good off speed. And when he was drafted in 2014, I just remember that MLB Network analysts, like a couple of them were like, they think he's going to be the first guy in the draft to make the MLB, even though Brandon Finnegan kind of screwed that idea. I think I still don't think he's going to pitch for the Braves this year unless they bring him up for like a cup of tea in September, because last year in the minors he did very well in certain games, but he couldn't get very deep in the games because he had a high pitch count because of his high walk rate. So if he like lowers his walk rate, I think he's going to have much more of an impact in 2017 than this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some for a long time, like exciting. Over a year now, and he is ready. He's ready to bust out in the major leagues. He's a really tall guy with a great fastball, and a good off-speed pitch. I think he's ready to be a starter for the Pirates. I think so.
I agree.
People talk about how the Pirates are getting worse just because they're losing players. They're not really signing any guys. But, they have who's been a top prospect for a couple years now. He's pitched very well in the minor leagues. He started what is the game they play around the All-Star break again? The Futures game. He started the Futures game 2 years in a row for the international team. I thought he was ready last season at the, with all the call-ups, but I guess not. They wanted to let him finish off the minor leagues there, and I think he's going to be a big contributor this year. I think it's time for him, and I'm excited to see him. Let's see who else we got. Rudy, you had a couple guys to talk about, right?
Yeah, I was interested in Dylan Bundy, who was a former top 20 guy. Had Tommy John, didn't really pitch last year, and I'm interested to see if he'll bounce back this year because he has great stuff. He's pretty young. Sorry, and Orioles definitely need him, so I think he's someone to definitely watch. And then I'm just gonna be interested to see the Yankees' prospects progress because Aaron Judge, Jorge Mateo, Gary Sanchez are they're all well touted prospects, and or if they will plateau.
Yeah, it's a weird situation with the Yankees. They have a lot of really good prospects, but they're the Yankees, so they're not going to have a lot of holes at any given time. So we'll see how everything plays out. There's a lot of really good prospects ready to break into the major leagues. Some that have definitely showed what they can do in the major leagues already. Guys at the top of this list, of course, like Byron Buxton, Corey Seager, Joey Gallo. I'm looking at the 2015 one right now. Trey Turner, that have all played some in the big leagues and shown they're league ready for a while now. Guys like this. There's a lot more too that have done their time as prospects and ready to break out. Jose Peraza that are, I think the youth in this game, of course, it was really good the last few years, and I think it's going to be just as good going forward. It's really exciting.
In good hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty to watch. I don't know if you have any Chris Bryants in this bunch. I mean, Joey Gallo, in terms of power, is probably the closest thing from the left side, but definitely some dynamic players. J.P. Crawford, another guy that's probably going to make a big impact for the Philly MLB top prospect list from MLB.com. I know I am. I'm sure you guys are too.
Yes.
Yes, of course. It's always fun to talk about prospects. Let's move on to our teams of the week. We'll finish off the show with those. We have two teams from the NL West, the Dodgers and the Rockies, to talk about this week. We'll start by talking about the Dodgers. They're good, but they're not as good as we want them to be. Is that a fair statement?
It's always that. They have all the depth they can, but then it's just not there.
They have all the depth, but none of the starters.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Yeah.
They have all the bench you could ever want. Starting. I mean, Justin Turner is arguably their best position player. That's not good. You can make
when you're right, you're right.
Aegon is probably better, and C's going to be great, but at this second, right now, you can make the case that Justin Turner is their best position player.
I definitely.
And you're not a great team if that's true.
I can see that. I mean, they have the best pitcher on the planet,
They
which was nice when it was complemented by another ace to follow him up, but now
because even though they lost Greinke, first of all, his contract was be a disaster, and second of all, the Kazmir, Anderson, Maeda deal, maybe Brandon McCarthy pitches at some point. I mean, they have Urias in the pipeline. The pitching is fine. The offense is a serious question mark. Serious. It's a big deal. Their outfield is really bad. It's bad. And they have no second baseman. So they really need to, think about what they're doing with their position players, because unless they think Enrique Hernandez is the second baseman of the future, which maybe, their lineup is pretty damn weak.
I have a question for you guys. Andre Ethier, he's going to become a 10-5 player. You guys know what that is?
Yeah.
What?
A
10-5 is no trade eligibility.
10 years in MLB and the last 5 years with the same team. He's going to become a 10. If you're a 10-5 player, you can you can reject trades. Would you try to trade him
No.
or no?
For whatever reason, the Dodgers will not play him.
He's owed $38 million for 2 years. So I think trading him might be a little difficult, but it's only 2 years, so I guess. No.
Why would you trade him?
Because they don't play him already.
Yeah, they don't play him.
For whatever reason. I agree he could play, but...
Them. They shouldn't. They should... Actually, for a while, I supported them.
If you're the Orioles, would you call in?
They should bench Crawford, is what they should really do.
They should, yeah.
I agree.
But they're not going to do that. But that's
he only had 395 at bats last year. They don't play him. So,
Crawford only had 181.
Yeah, but it's Andre Ethier, and they're different.
Peterson was really bad last year.
But they're going to play him just because he's got power and he plays a very good defensive center field.
Their outfit was just a mess. Puig was terrible.
Yeah.
He
was pretty bad. He was pretty
bad.
He
was hurt a lot, but he was...
There's some good talent. There's talent, but they're just not doing anything with that talent.
Their outfield is just beyond fucked up.
That's true. Second base, they're going to have to re-sign Kendrick, because it was going to be Peraza, and they ended up trading him.
They already re-signed Utley.
They re-signed who?
Chase Utley.
Yeah. Good luck playing Chase Utley for, good luck playing him for...
Guerrero.
Oh, that's true. I forgot all about him. He can play. Forgot all about him.
Majority of the second base or innings.
Yeah. I will say right now, I have a huge man crush on Corey Seager. I think he's going to be a stud. Who doesn't, though, really?
He's not that attractive.
I'm attracted to power.
Quickly, interject. Yeah. They have 2 caliber catchers, but they have not one above average outfielder. That just doesn't even make sense.
They have 2? Who's the other catcher?
What?
What?
Huh?
Grandal and Ellis.
Ellis is not a plus catcher.
Yeah, he is. He's amazing defensively.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant offensively. He sucks offensively.
No, but catchers, almost all catchers suck offensively.
But Yasmani Grandal is good.
Grandal's good offensively.
He's a top 10 catcher.
I said they have 2 starting caliber catchers.
Okay, yeah. But not, amazing.
They have 2 catchers.
They have 2.
Team every day.
There's 2 of them.
They have 0 outfielders who are above average. That is what I said, and that is what I meant.
Okay, that's fair. It's frustrating. Whatever. They do that a lot. They get a lot of washed-up pitchers and turn them into other stuff. Relief pitchers. Couldn't think of the word for it, whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's just get right down to it. Where do you see them at the end of the year? How far do they get?
Playoffs.
They're gonna miss the playoffs. Okay.
Yeah.
Farbode?
Oh, that's difficult. I agree. I think there's 2 teams right now that are better than them in that division.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay. I think.
No. I take that back. One team that's around them, and then I think the Giants are better.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I say they miss. It's just simple math because you have 3 NL Central teams that are still pretty beastly. You have the Giants that have to make the playoffs somehow.
Yeah, because it's an even year. So.
Yeah, they're gonna win. So, and then you have the NL East. Even you could have. It was one of the weakest divisions, and the Giants have won 3 out of the last 6.
I think the Giants are excellent.
They are. They're very good.
I do agree with you.
Let's talk about just how weak this division is by talking about the Rockies now.
Oh.
I think they're, in terms of overall record, they drag this division down quite a bit.
Last year we shat on the Rockies.
And I think we're ready to shit on them again this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You know how I was really, 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 really mad about the Diamondbacks the past 3 years, Uwe?
Yeah.
For as long as we've been friends, I've constantly talked to you about how much the Diamondbacks and their various MLB transactions piss me off and how they waste all their potential.
Yes.
Because of Kevin Towers?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't get them started.
Why? I like an angry
same. The Rockies are literally the exact same. If they once decided to spend money on pitching, they could have been a playoff contending team for the past 5 years.
That's very true.
And I understand that a pitcher probably doesn't want to pitch there. I understand they don't have a great financial market, but there shouldn't be an MLB team in fucking Colorado. That constricting of
acceptable.
Yeah. Sorry for the rant, but it makes no sense what this team has done with their talent the past decade.
Yeah.
Honestly, when you say they should have spent money on pitching, I know that a lot of pitchers don't want to pitch there, but then that's where you're forced to overpay. And when you have,
if they, let's say, decide to spend $100 million on pitching this offseason, I'm not saying they should, but let's just say they did. Do you really think they couldn't sign Gallardo and
Fister?
What's his name?
Fister.
Fister, and maybe one more innings eater. They could probably pull that off.
Yeah.
And they would. I mean, and their team would be. They could probably make their team just from that into a team contending for the second wild card.
And Jorge De La Rosa wouldn't be their ace.
I mean, that's
as far as aces go.
What?
He's there.
Spending $100 million once in the offseason after having, damn.
Tulo and Cargo.
Very good player, in my opinion. I actually like him a lot, but how does that answer any of their issues? I mean, they're an infuriating franchise.
Yeah. So I kind of let you guys rant on a little bit without saying anything. I'm going to go ahead and give my stuff. They also got a guy from the Blue Jays in that Tulo deal. But that's what they've been trying to do. It hasn't panned out at all for them yet. I don't agree with that approach. I think, I'm just going to say it now, it goes against what you guys are saying completely. I think they need to go all in on an offensive juggernaut example. And you're
not trying to beat the team, you're trying to outscore them.
No, you're not just trying to win. You're trying to destroy them, basically. That's how it's got to be for them. I think in that ballpark, they haven't taken advantage of that yet, and they have some pieces. They're close enough to do this. I think because Nolan Arenado is one of the best hitters in the game. They have him. Cargo. I say trade him because you need to. As of right now, you need to work on getting some other power in some other way that's more efficient than having Carlos Gonzalez. Blackman's been good, but he's not going to be part of their long-term picture. I think at some point you trade him, too, because he's still got value. And I think you just need to go, instead of getting these young pitchers, get really good young position players and load up in that way. What? Which is the Angels.
The Angels.
But they don't have anything to offer.
We have nothing unless you wanted to give up our two young lefty pitchers.
Couldn't you give up Santiago and?
No, that's not enough. It's not enough.
Santiago and Skaggs.
Did you not hear what I just said? I say they need to get some freaking young bats.
They could trade Heaney.
I want bats, man. I want bats. I want
I don't agree
power bats.
I don't agree with that logic, so that's why I'm saying that.
That's just my approach. It's unorthodox by all means, because a lot of I'm for the most part I agree. Good pitching equals a good foundation for a good team, and I just don't see that with the Rockies. Because the thing is, spending $100 million on guys like Gallardo and Fister, and that they're spending a lot more money on middle of the road guys that will be less productive than their market value in Coors Field. I mean, if you're just gonna go after weak pitching, they're pretty weak pitchers, relatively speaking. They're not top end guys. So if you're just gonna go after innings eater, get the cheapest inning eaters you can get and spend money on offense. Or as of right now, when they're trying to rebuild that offensive core and make it something that's scary good.
The issue with the Rockies is gonna be they're the Rays, except in a stadium that is drastically favors one part of the game, and they're never going to be. It's an impossible situation in my opinion. You really just build that team. You're never going to spend money, and it's impossible to develop young pitching. What are you going to do? You're never going to really pull that off in my mind.
Okay, so
they have to sacrifice. You either have to move or to spend money. You can't play in Coors Field forever and refuse to ever spend money.
Okay, so let me just talk about something really quick. So you remember the Blue Jays when they added Josh Donaldson, and they added. So just looking at their lineup, we thought, man, this is one of the scariest lineups out there. Yes. Do you remember that? This whole having a super scary lineup. That is, their offense alone is going to be able to do a lot. And they were a David Price away. That's very possible for the Rockies to do if they put themselves in that position. But they aren't in that position yet. I think that's the way they got to go about it.
No, it's not comparable. They spent money, the Blue Jays, to make that team.
I'm saying the Rockies can spend money to build an amazing offense.
Sorry?
The Rockies should spend money to build an amazing offense.
Yeah, that's what we've been saying.
Okay.
Just right now, they have players that they should trade for young position players. I'm not saying that's their only approach constantly. You can spend money on really good position players with a lot of power potential that is going to be a scary lineup and that is going to be able to do some damage against other teams. And then when the time is right, it's easy enough to trade for a David Price type pitcher at the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I don't think it'll ever happen.
I want it to happen. In my mind, I've worked it out in many different ways. It's the only way I see success.
I mean, I just think I agree with you that that is the plan. That I agree with.
Okay, cool.
I just don't think their ownership. I think they need new ownership for them to really do that.
Oh yeah, execution-wise, it's near impossible, but that's the only way. Yeah. They're kind of screwed right now. We'll see how things go though. Yeah. So that was my little bit on the Rockies there. Anybody else got anything to say? We're just about done with them, aren't we?
We're done.
Yeah, we're done. And that's going to do it for this podcast, too. Thank you all for joining us today. It feels good to be back together for the first time in 2016. As always, you can leave us any feedback you have. It is much appreciated. You can tweet us at WPB_podcast on Twitter. Please check out our website, too, which is warandpeacebaseball.myfree.website. It's in the description below. There will be a link, so go ahead and check that out, please. We got some good stuff there, a couple articles, links to all the videos, pretty much everything. You can also email us at warandpeacebaseball@gmail.com if you'd like to do that. Yeah, so that's all we got for you today. We'll be back next week. We're hoping to gain some more traction, get on a consistent schedule again as we getting closer and closer to the regular season. Yeah, so thanks again. As always, Farbode.
Peace.